All right, so coming to nice seat. Starting out, you can be a little forward in your chair if you want to start to work the core a little bit. Otherwise, you can be sitting back feeling just kind of nice and easy and relaxed. And let's just roll the shoulders back a few times. You might be getting all kinds of cracks and crinkles here. And we're going to roll forward. And then roll back again. And then just allow your shoulder blades to release down your back. You can take your hands on your thighs. Allow your eyelids to gently close if they haven't already. Take a nice deep inhale through your nose. Pause at the top. Sip in a little more air. And then exhale, sigh the breath out. Ha. So you're letting the Mondays go, the week so far go. Anything that might be stressing you out, you're just putting it aside for the next hour as much as possible. Really giving yourself permission to start to drop into the sound of your breath, to start to pay attention to your body. So you're going to do this inhale a few more times. You're going to pause, sip in some more air, and then sigh the breath out through your mouth, just at your own pace. And after you've done that a few times, as you feel ready, begin to drop into your rhythmic breath. So that inhale through your nose and that exhale through your nose. Welcome, Martha. You might be practicing your Ujjayi breath, so constricting the sides of your throat. You create that soft rush of air in the back of your throat. It sounds like ocean waves rolling in and out. This breath can be a little bit heating, so it's not necessary. Some of us like it. We like that sound. It gives us something to focus on, but some days it doesn't feel good, or it feels a little too heavy-handed or heating. If that's you, just skip it. Instead, just finding an easy inhale and an easy exhale. And as you're here, try to find this symmetry between the inhale and the exhale. And maybe you need to count the breath initially to find that. So inhaling to 6 or 7. And then exhaling to that same number. You might find that you're dropping into this quiet space pretty easily today. Some days that happens, the mind just kind of shuts down because we've practiced this a lot. Some days it takes a little longer to find that quiet, sweet space. So just know that the important thing is we make this effort, that we try, need not look perfect. As you're here breathing, sometimes tension creeps into the shoulders. They start to creep up around the ears. So just observe your own body. If that's you, soften them down. Sometimes we can start to grip the inner thigh a little bit, maybe even fingers or toes. There's some tension there. And soften and release. And we're going to add on to the breath here. So we're going to move in towards our box breath. So we're going to inhale to the count of 6, and then we're going to hold at the top of the breath to the count of 6. We're going to exhale to the count of 6, and then we're going to hold on the exhale to the count of 6. So just this even breath And this is just a nice calming breath. This is good if you're feeling a little anxious, a little stressed out. This is something that you can do whenever you need to just mellow out a little bit and relax. So let's go ahead and just take a nice deep inhale here together. And then a full complete exhale through the nose. And then we inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Pause, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Pause, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Pause, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Pause. I might have screwed that up. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So wherever you're at, I want you to do 3 more full rounds on your own. I just kind of went to space there. You can change the count. Maybe you want to extend the breath a little bit. Maybe you want to go a little shorter. So find your rhythm. So the symmetry between the inhale and then the pause at the top, the exhale and then the pause at the bottom. As you come into those retentions, notice if the shoulders get a little tense, if they creep up around the ears, soften. So if you start to feel that tension, maybe that means you need to shorten the breath a little bit. Just complete the cycle that you're on. So you'll pause on that exhale and then just return to your normal breathing. So the inhale through your nose and the exhale through your nose. Maybe just notice how you feel here. And then blink your eyes open and let's start to move into some Sufi rolls. So you can start out small, but we're just making little circles around that pelvic girdle. I always think that this feels really nice. This is a good one to do every day. You can just do this when you're working or watching TV. Just kind of noticing how things are feeling here. And as you're ready, you're going to begin to switch directions. Okay, start to make your circles a little bit smaller. And you're going to come back to your Tadasana, your mountain pose. These look great, ladies. So sitting nice and tall, shoulders landing over your sit bones. And then let's just move into our cat-cow. classic here. So exhaling, you're rolling to the backs of your sit bones, rounding in. Inhaling, you're rocking to the fronts of your sit bones. So you're finding that nice back bend in your lumbar, your lower back. You're just moving with your breath. So you're finding this beautiful rhythm. You're not too fast. You're not too slow. You're really listening to what it is you need. So if you are feeling a little anxious, a little overwhelmed today, maybe you stretch your breath out, you slow it down. And conversely, if you're feeling a little lethargic, like you need a little burst of energy, perhaps you start to speed your breath up. So in this way, we use our breath to help us kind of modulate how we're feeling energetically. Especially as you're coming into the cat stretch, so rounding in that thoracic, make sure that your chin is releasing towards your chest, so you're really stretching the back of the neck. And then let's just hold each of these positions for a few breaths so we can kind of accentuate them. So as you inhale, rock forward. So this is almost like a little bit of a cobra pose as well. So the shoulder heads are pressing back, getting this rounding in our lower back. So definitely the back bend portion in this exercise. Kind of keep the elbows squeezing in towards each other. Feel this openness across your heart and chest. These look really good. And then as we exhale, we're going to hold here. You're going to continue to breathe. But you start to find that rounding in the upper spine. Again, you're feeling your chin gently release towards your chest, so you get a little bit of stretch in the back of the neck. That's hard to do sometimes. Our neck really wants to support and activate and hold up the skull and the brain. Good, let's inhale, rock forward. So just finding our nice tall spine, our mountain pose, our Tadasana. And then just take a couple of breaths here. And again, check in, notice how you're feeling. So it's always pretty amazing to me. It just takes a little bit of movement to really shift how the body starts to feel and how the brain starts to feel. So a little bit of movement goes a long way. So it's nice when we have an hour to devote to it, but if we only have a few minutes every day just to do some cat-cow, it can really change how we're feeling. Let's move into our lateral side-to-side stretching. So release your arms by your side. Feel this openness across your heart and chest. There's a little bit of that cow pose, a little bit of that cobra pose feeling. And then we're going to inhale, lean off to the right, take your left arm up and over. Gorgeous. As you exhale, release down. All of the little Zoom screens are moving in perfect harmony. It looks so sweet. Exhale, you release. Good. And then we just continue like this. If you feel comfortable and stable and steady in your seat, you could close your eyes here if that feels nice to you. Otherwise, you're just keeping your gaze soft and gentle in front of you. So you're not really looking at anything. You're not focusing per se, but you're definitely not looking around either. Your attention is on the sensations that you're feeling in your body right now. And you're listening to that sound of your breath. Best music going. Let's do a couple more to each side. So just kind of finding a little bit of this reverse warrior feeling in the upper body. And the next time that left arm is reaching up and over, you're going to hold there. And just imagine that somebody is pressing down on that left thigh. So you're really anchoring there. You could even take your hand to that thigh if you'd like. Conversely, you could also reach behind and kind of find a little twist, or a little wrap rather, so that you can start to press that right shoulder head back. Maybe you gaze up underneath that top arm if it feels okay to do so in your neck. Yeah, these look good. Exhale, release this side, and then inhale, lean off to the left, right arm reaches up and over, and then feel heavy in that right sit bone. That might mean that you come out of the side stretch a little bit. That's okay. You actually might feel more stretch even though you do. And again, you're welcome to press that left hand to right thigh. If you want to find a little wrap situation, you can do that. So just finding a little leverage so you can press that left shoulder head back, open up. Pinky side of that right hand spins down. Maybe you're gazing up underneath your top arm. Good. As you exhale, go ahead and release. And I didn't ask you guys at the beginning, does everybody have an extra chair or a thumbs up or a nod of that? Okay. Something that they could use, even wall in front of you, you could move your chair. Perfect. So let's move into a little downward facing dog, which is going to be really nice. So downward dog is basically, it's a forward fold. It's a really active forward fold, which is nice. So forward folds are cooling postures. So when you're having the heat wave that we're having, that can be really nice. They're also in downward dog, it's really lengthening through the sides of the waist. So kind of that sensation that we just got doing our side to side lateral stretching, except that we're going to keep it symmetrical here. I'm going to go ahead and turn my chair so that I have the tall end facing towards me. Doesn't matter if you do that or not. Again, you could also press your hands into a wall. You could have your hands on a table in front of you. So a lot of different things work. And the hardest part is just kind of figuring out the distance that you need. So you might have to move this first one a little bit. And in fact, let's just go ahead and stretch our arms forward. And I kind of like to press into the heels of my hands here. So I'm rooting down. As I do that, it starts to activate the arms. So you feel the muscles engage and turn on. And then you're just going to release your head down so that your ears come even with your biceps. You're basically looking a couple of inches in front of your toes. And you are anchoring into your sit bones here. As you press into your hands, you're finding that extension through the sides of your waist. And you're listening to that sound of your breath. Inhaling and exhaling through your nose. Good. So as you inhale, start to bring your gaze forward and then release your hands to your legs. Just roll up, take a couple of breaths here. You might get a little head rush coming out of that forward fold. And we're gonna do that again. We're gonna add a little twist. All right, so same thing, start to hinge forward, keep the sides of your waist nice and long, reach your arms forward. So you're feeling this activation in your arms, the muscle is firming towards bone. There's this feeling of inner arm wrapping towards outer arm, the outer arm is releasing down towards the mat, and that's really subtle. If you're watching this on YouTube and you're like, what is she talking about? If it's not making sense, don't worry about it. You are in the pose if you're stretching forward. Then again, just release your ears in line with your biceps, so your inner arm. Use your inhale to help you lengthen. And then just bring your gaze forward to your hands, wherever they're pressing. I want you to bring your right hand off to the left a little bit, so you're centering it. And then you're gonna bring your left hand to your left hip. And you're gonna start to spin your right ribs to the left. Yes, these look great. So a little gentle twist here. You might just stay here like this. Maybe you extend that left arm back. And if you've got any shoulder stuff going on, you're probably gonna wanna keep your hands on your hips or just reaching hands back. You might be able to extend that top arm up. That's gonna get into the chest, the pectorals, the shoulder a little more. You might even feel it in the lower back a little more. Let's take one more deep inhale here. Really nice work. Good, and then let's exhale, unwind. And we're going to take our second side. So just center that left hand, bring it to the right. All right, and then you're pressing down there, right fingertips to your right hip. Start to spin your left ribs to the right. The side might feel entirely different, so always know that it's okay if your poses don't look the same side to side. Always modify as you need to. And staying here like this, maybe reaching those right fingertips back. Few of us, if we have the shoulder flexibility, might extend that right arm, so wrist perpendicular to the shoulder. Are you breathing? Really try to fill up on the inhale here. It's a little tricky in this twist. Good, one more deep inhale. And then as you exhale, you unwind. Great work. Hands come to thighs. And again, nice and easy. Come to seated. We're going to take a few breaths here. Not unusual after being in a forward fold to feel a little head rush as you come up. And then just in line with this idea of forward folding, so this cooling pose, this calming pose, let's find a little pyramid pose. So a little bit of a stretch in the back of the leg. And I'm going to give you a couple different options to do this. So you're going to have, again, your chair in front of you. So option one would be to extend your right leg to straight. Option two would be to take that right heel on the chair. And if you're using a table or something in front of you, something that would require you to lift this foot higher than the ankle higher than hips distance, I just say keep the foot on the floor. It will be the same pose. Bring your hands to your hips and just notice how they're both facing forward. So we want to hold on to that sensation. And then we're going to start to fold in here. So you can walk your hands forward any amount. If you're a little tighter, this is a big, big hamstring stretch in that right side. So if you tend to be a little tighter there, you're going to be pretty upright. This counts. This is the pose. For those of us that have a little more ease in the hamstring, maybe you're forward folding a little more. Do try to keep this sensation of cobra pose in your upper body. So little back bend in the thoracic. Your gaze is soft and gentle in front of you. You're breathing. You can even kind of just imagine that that right hip is drawing back as that left hip draws forward. Parsvattanasana, pyramid pose. It's a doozy. Couple more good breaths. And then let's rise on up here. So let's stay with this right leg forward. And again, it can be heel on the floor, leg extended, or that heel on a chair. And then let's just find a little twist here. So we're going to inhale, take our arms out wide. Good. Again, try to keep that idea of hip bones facing forward equally. They're going to change a little bit. That's fine. As we exhale, we're going to twist to the right. And you might not go very far. This is intense. Maybe you can grab a piece of chair behind you with that right hand. And then maybe you can either take your left hand to the inside of your left thigh, perhaps to the outside of your right thigh. So Parivrita Trikonasana, this is a twisted triangle pose. Press shoulder heads back. Keep your breath smooth and steady. This one can be particularly intense when poses are challenging. Sometimes the breath gets a little ragged. Good, deep inhale. Exhale, start to unwind, come back to center, and then go ahead and release your right foot from the chair. If you took that variation, bend your left knee, come back to your Tadasana, your mountain pose. and we take our second side. So again, options here. You can extend that left leg to straight. Maybe you take that heel onto your chair. So we are in Parsva Tanasana, setting up for our deep forward fold in this pyramid pose. And we're targeting this left hamstring. All right, so inhale, stretch your arms up. And then exhale, start to fold in any amount. You need not go very far at all. If this is particularly challenging, your hands just might be on your thighs. That counts. And then you're getting curious. How does this side feel different in your body? Does it feel different? Have you lost that thread of your breath? Can you come back to that? Couple more breaths here before we come into our twist. All right, so we're going to start to inhale, make our way out. Good, so keeping this left leg extended, take an exhale here. And then inhale, reach your arms out wide. Root into your sit bones. As you exhale, start to twist to the left any amount. You could imagine, or just pretend that two somebodies are holding your wrist, gently tractioning you apart. These look great, ladies. You can stay here like this. Maybe you hold onto a piece of chair. Right hand to the inside of your right thigh, outside of the left thigh. If twisting feels good in your body, and you'll know where you need to be. And just doing a little leverage, you're really feeling these lowermost right ribs twist in, and then everything just comes along for the ride. As you're doing this, so you're pressing your shoulder heads back, you're finding a little bit of that cobra feeling in your upper body. You could be moving your gaze out over your left shoulder, moving in that direction. Good, one more deep inhale here. And then we're going to exhale, unwind, come back to center. Just release this left foot down. Find your mountain pose, take a couple of breaths. And because we do have our chair here today, I'd like to go ahead and come into like about a 5-minute modified child's pose. So you can be using the chair, you could use a table in front of you. So just something to give yourself a little support. You might even, if you have blocks or blankets at home, you could stack a little something. But essentially, we're just gonna fold in. You can crisscross your arms and rest your forehead on them. You're also welcome to reach your arms forward. So kind of just feeling, seeing where you need to be, noticing what feels good in your body. So very similar to our downward facing dog, except for that it's a little more passive, it's a little more relaxing. So we're getting that forward fold. We're finding that lengthening through the sides of the waist. Just a little more passive here though. And as you're here, you are welcome to return to that box breath if that felt good for you. So maybe inhaling to 5 or 6. Pausing to the count of 5 or 6. Exhaling to the count of 5 or 6. And then holding the breath out to the count of 5 or 6. So it can be really nice to do some of these restorative forward folds. So these poses where we hold things a little bit longer. That being said, this is often when the brain, the chatter kind of kicks up. We start to think about things. So when we work with our pranayama, it gives the mind a little something to focus on, which can be really helpful. And as you know, this doesn't just happen when we're on our yoga mats practicing. This is an occurrence that happens many times throughout the day. We get distracted. We start to kind of perseverate on things, worry about things, daydream. I think some of that is actually good. It's part of what makes us human. But it can also be exhausting when we feel like we're kind of stuck in a thought pattern or worry. So nice to give ourselves little breaks as well. If you're here and you're starting to feel a little tug in the inner thigh or even a little shake, it might mean that you're in too deep. So always back out a little bit if you need to. Give yourself a little more height, more blocks under the head or blankets under the head. And conversely too, you might find that you melt in a little deeper as things start to open up here. So just noticing where you're at, what's going on in your body today. It's different every time we get on our mats. Let's do about 7 or 8 more good breaths here. And 7 or 8 more rounds of that box breath if you're still working with that. Taking your time, moving nice and slow. You can use your hands to help you press up. Start to roll back up to your mountain pose. Maybe roll your shoulders back again. Good. And I'm going to face forward here. And let's just find a little flow here. So just moving into a few half sun salutes. Just kind of open up the spine again after that long forward fold. So if you have blocks, they can be really nice by the sides of your chair, your feet. So coming into your mountain pose, your Tadasana. Give everybody a chance to get set up here. Good, so you're sitting tall. Let's release our arms by our side. And let's play with these a couple different ways today. So on this first one, let's take our arms out wide, assuming you have the space. Good. As you exhale, you can take your arms out wide again, fold in, or maybe you feel more stable, taking your hands to your thighs and then melting down. So come into this deep forward fold with the back of the neck lengthen and release. As you inhale, this is where you might take your hands to your blocks. They could also come to your shins or your thighs. Chest extends forward, gaze comes forward. This is our seated cobra pose. As you exhale, release back down. Inhale, you can use your hands to help you press up, or again, you can reverse swan dive out, kind of getting into the core a little bit. And then as you exhale, hands come together at your heart. So this time we're going to reach forward with the arms, which just has a different sensation in the shoulder girdle. For some of us, it feels nicer. Inhale, reach. Good. And then exhale, maybe you bring your palms to heart center, fold in. Again, you can use hands to help you fold in if you need that stability. Inhale, chest extends forward, so hands on blocks or thighs. Gaze comes forward, great work. As you exhale, release in. And then hands can help you press up. Maybe you stretch your arms forward this time if you feel stable doing that. Nice. And then palms come to heart center. Back into our mountain pose. So we're going to do 3 more complete rounds. And you can choose whatever arm variation feels best for you. You can mix and match. But as you're ready, just start to flow with your breath, taking up lots of space as you do these sun salutes, finding this really lovely rhythm in your body. Soaking up that sound of your breath. Again, it is the best soundtrack going, especially when we're stretching it out, when it's really deep and rich. Your attention will wander anytime it does. Return to your breath. It's okay if you have to do that 1,000 times. When you're done with your 3rd round, just pause in your mountain pose, palms together at your heart, eyes closed. Breath smooth and steady. Little check-in, how are you feeling? What's shifted or what's shifting? And then let's just release our arms, blink your eyes open, and let's get into the neck a little bit, kind of doing it towards the end of class today, which may feel a little different. So we've kind of warmed some things up, but I think it'll be nice to go here. So hands can be by your side or on your thighs. Just start to release your chin down towards your chest. And again, it's always hard to let the back of the neck release. So just take several breaths here. Observe if you are gripping and holding on. See if you can breathe a little space into the back of your neck. You're going to take a nice deep inhale. And then as you exhale, keep your chin tucked, but bring your right ear towards your right shoulder. Inhale back to center. And then exhale, make your way to the left. Ooh, I don't know about you guys, but I'm feeling this. Inhale to center. Good. Exhale. Off to the right. You're just going to continue like this several rounds. This is like a little vinyasa as well, connecting movement with breath. And just gently stretching into the neck. Noticing the sensations that you're feeling. Important to keep breathing here. Neck, shoulder stuff is pretty intense. It's where we carry the weight of the world. And so this doesn't necessarily feel easy. And it can take a lot of effort, a lot of attention to start to open things up. So just be open to that. Let's do a couple more side to side, just moving like this. Good. After you've completed your left side, just come back to center, so chin towards chest, and just hang there again. Feel that lengthening in the back of your neck. Release the shoulder blades down. They've started to creep up. And then taking several breaths this time, moving super slow through all of the places where you start to feel a little sensation. Again, bring your right ear towards your right shoulder. But you're like taking the scenic route here. You're breathing into those places that are a little extra tight, a little extra tender. Maybe release that left hand from the thigh. Kind of reach down. You could even take that arm up at an angle, and that's going to intensify the stretch. I'm getting a lot of sensation. So again, you always add on or back off as needed. And I often say, I think it's harder for us to back off. I think we're kind of conditioned to go for it. So just remember that less can be a lot more sometimes. Maybe you add another little element here, taking your right hand to the top of your head, applying a little pressure. If you go there and it doesn't feel good, you skip it. Good. Use your right hand to your cheek to upright your head. Nice work, hands to thighs, chin towards chest. Make sure that shoulder blades are releasing down your back. And then several breaths, no hurry at all. Keeping your chin tucked. It's like you're moving in slow motion. Exploring all of the little nooks and crannies as you start to make your way off to the left. Breath stays constant. We lose it sometimes. We come back to it. We find it again. We reset. If you want a little more here, maybe release right fingertips down, perhaps even taking that arm at a slight angle. Skipping it if it doesn't feel good in your body or on this side. And an indication that it's not working is if your breath gets a little ragged. And then finally, maybe you take your left hand to the top of your head, applying some gentle, gentle pressure. Not too much, just enough. Beautiful work. All right, so we're going to make our way out of this. Use your left hand to your cheek to help upright your head. And then let's just release all of that. Let's come back into our cat-cow. So inhaling, arching. Exhaling, rounding it, especially here. Notice if you can release a little more in the back of the neck. And just notice too, so moving towards the end of our practice here, we've done a lot. How does this cat-cow feel different than it did at the beginning of class? Is there more space in your spine? Is there greater range of movement? And maybe there isn't, that's okay too. Maybe it's subtle. Beautiful work. Come back to center. So finding your mountain pose. And we're going to move into a little bit of our alternate nostril breathing today. So we're going to do this. We're going to start inhaling through our left side. So the left side, again, when you're starting with the left, it corresponds with more of the lunar energy, calming energy. Whereas if you start through the right side, it has more of an energizing quality. It's the solar side. It's a little more energetic. So we want to move into a calm space today. We've been doing a lot of poses to help get us there with all of our forward folding. So you're going to take your right hand and let's just kind of warm up the fingers a little bit. Give them a little wiggle out. So bring the pads of the finger to the heel of the hand and then pulling up. Good. And then, so classically, so you're going to go ahead and bring the fingers in, kind of come to the top ridge of knuckles. And then you're going to keep your middle and index finger in. So we're going to use, kind of make like a single finger with our index and ring finger. That may or may not happen. So you can also just be using your thumb and your pointer. This need not be the classic version. All right, cool. So we got that. So we're going to bend the elbow and we're going to bring our fingers. So I want you to find the bony part of your nose. Yeah, so we feel that. And then lower to where you start to feel that cartilage. So that's the place where we want the fingers to be placed. And when you're doing this, you don't have to press very hard. You're just blocking one nostril and then the other. So it's just the tiniest little movement. We don't want to have any tension. Your left hand is resting on your left thigh. Close your eyes here. Take a nice deep inhale through both nostrils. Get a full, complete exhale through both nostrils. Good. And then you're going to block the right side. You're going to inhale through the left. Block left. Exhale right. Inhale right. So block right. Exhale left. Inhale left. Block left. Exhale right. Inhale right. Block right. Exhale left. Inhale left. Block left, exhale right. Inhale right. Block right, exhale left. Inhale left. Block left, exhale right. Inhale right. Good, block right, exhale left. Inhale left. Block left, exhale right. Inhale right. Good, block right, exhale left. One more complete round. So inhale left. Block left, exhale right. Inhale right. Block right, exhale left. And then you're going to release your right hand down. Inhaling through both nostrils and then exhaling through both nostrils. And checking and noticing how you feel. And then moving towards a final resting pose here. So you just might stay exactly where you're at in this quiet meditation. You're welcome to come back into that child's pose if that felt good in your body. You're welcome to come into a classic Shavasana if it's easy for you to get there. Wherever you're at, just allow yourself to relax, to melt in, to soak up these final moments of quietness, of stillness. Giving yourself permission not to worry about that to-do list or anything that might be stressing you out just yet. It's going to be there. Instead, give yourself permission to get quiet, to soak up these final moments of your practice. Asato ma satgamaya. Tamaso ma jyotirgamaya. Mrityorma amritam gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Take a deeper inhale. Open your mouth, sigh the breath out, let it go, ha. And then just bring some gentle movement back to your body, wiggle, stretch, anything that feels good. Place your palms in a pile on top of your heart. So send yourself love and gratitude, send your body love and gratitude. Such a gift to be able to work and move like this. It's not always easy, but it does make a difference. And finally, just promise yourself that you're going to carry a little of this good feeling that you worked so hard to create this past hour with you into the rest of the day, the rest of the week ahead. If you lose it, maybe you'll just pause and do a little box breath or a little alternate nostril breathing or just a quick little check-in and see if you can find it again. Bow your head with love and gratitude. Beautiful work today, yogis. Thank you. Namaste.